Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.
Welcome to Peter and Roughie's Football Show, sponsored by Arnold Clark. It is Monday. I'm Peter Martin. Thank you very much for joining us on the show. And in the studio, Alan Rough, Alison McConnell and Barry Ferguson, looking back over the weekend's fixtures and, of course, ahead to the midweek plans. We'll discuss Ballon d'Or and Brendan Rodgers a little later on in the programme, but to matters over the weekend. 2 wins at the top. Celtic and Rangers still going head-to-head. It's getting tight. Goal difference separates them. At the bottom end, it's getting nervy. Hearts involved at that bottom end, playoff and relegation. Probably the last thing on their mind at the moment as they try to search for a manager. And also the threat for Celtic fans of Odsonne Edouard not making the cup final, Roughie.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of them will be thinking it's a wee bit of publicity sometimes in big games, you know, that you tell everybody your best player isn't available, and then lo and behold, the morning of the game he's available and he's in the team lines, and it seems to give, I don't think that gives the players a lift, because they'll know exactly what's happening throughout the week, but for the fans, you know, if they think he's not playing and all of a sudden he is playing, it's a massive lift.
Well, let's just for a second suggest that he doesn't play. It weakens Celtic. I don't think anybody would disagree with that, but who would you put in there to try and soften the blow?
That's an interesting question, isn't it? Would you be tempted to stick with what's worked over the last 2 games? If you keep Lewis Morgan in that advanced position with Christie just behind him and then your 2 wide men? Or is Griffiths fit enough to go and make a start? I'm not sure that Lee Griffiths has had ample game time to suggest he would be ready for that, but you never know. I suppose if you're the manager's seen him in training every week. I think Edouard will make it. I think on Thursday night seemed to be a suggestion that the issue was a niggle, something to do with an ankle problem, but the anticipation was that he would be fit within a few days. If it has exacerbated and there's an issue, I wonder if he would be tempted just to stick with Lewis Morgan up there.
Yeah, Barry, we all think it's a ruse, to be honest with you, but if he doesn't appear in the starting lineup, how much of a bonus is that for Rangers?
Yeah, I was just going to say that'll be a major boost. If you see the Celtic team sheet coming in and Edouard's not on it, you're going to automatically get a boost, because for me, he's a top player, he's a top man. Every time he's come up against Rangers, he's been dangerous, so it'll be clearly a boost to Rangers, but just what Alison says, I think he'll be fit for the game.
Yeah, and with that in mind, does he have to play on Wednesday then, Ali? Is that the real sign that he's going to be fit?
Not necessarily. I think he's played the majority of games this season. I'm sure he could probably miss 2 or 3 games and still come back in, even if it meant that he was going to start not 100% on Sunday, but that you know you're going to get an hour out of him, then I think you would be tempted to start. I don't think whatever happens on Wednesday might be a portent of what's to come at the weekend. The other thing you would have to say too is that what Celtic have proven in recent games, that there are goals all over the pitch, that they are not relying on one striker for their goals. I think Ronnie Dyer's last season at the club, Lee Griffiths had scored 40 goals, but there were very few goals coming from other people. I don't think anyone else got into double figures that season. What you'd have to say now is that you've got Christie, who's actually 1 goal ahead of Edouard, and you've got goals from Forrest coming. I think Forrest has got 13, just 1 behind Edouard. So there are goals in that team.
Yeah, Christie has been on fire, Roughie. It looks as if he's just taken up the mantle. He's there, he's scoring, he's got confidence.
Yeah, he's playing that well that nobody's talking about McGregor. You know, Callum McGregor at the beginning of the season was in everybody's thoughts, you know, of how good he was. I haven't heard anybody mention Callum McGregor since Ryan Christie's been in the form that he's in, so it just shows you how well he's playing.
Yeah, 10 wins in a row for Celtic. They certainly bounced back after that defeat to Livingston. That number 10 is at the forefront of Rangers, and they are pushing Celtic all the way, Barry. Hearts were the opposition and they trounced them.
Yeah, Hearts were disappointing. Let's not kid ourselves on, but you've still got to go and do a job. And once that first goal went in from Rangers, Morelos obviously in top form getting that, there was only going to be one winner for me. Hearts were really disappointing. And you look at the team they had out, there's a lot of good players as well. So, great result for Rangers. It keeps the momentum going. But Hearts are in a bad place at this moment in time.
How many goals do you think Morelos can get this season?
Well, he's in 25 now. Probably, look, it depends on the service. The service he's getting is great, don't get us wrong. Kent, Barisic are obviously setting up the opportunities for him. But he's going to go through a sticky patch at some point. A lot of strikers do that. It's how he comes through that. But listen, he's in great form. He's in a great place, and when he's in form, Rangers are looking good.
How many goals do you think he can score, Barry?
It depends, doesn't it? Listen, his next one he's got to aim for 30, and when he gets 30, go for the 40.
Yeah, okay.
Or 50.
No. 50.
Or 54.
Yeah, exactly. Or 55. There you are. I just thought I'd throw that.
Henrik Larsson.
Yeah.
Was he 53 he got?
Yeah, he was 53.
Morelos can get 54.
Yeah, there's the headline, Ali. I waited long enough. I'm only winding you up. Anyway, apart from anything else, Rangers have to beat what's in front of them. There's always this situation where you get through the weeks and there's always this story of a player that's been linked right, left and centre. This time it was Glenn Kamara's name that was brought up alongside Juventus, no less. Steven Gerrard was bemused by it all.
We haven't heard nothing from Juventus, so I think it's another made-up story. There's a lot going around at the moment about quite a few of my players, but there's no truth in it. But it wouldn't surprise me if there's top clubs looking at Glenn.
It's a great PR exercise going on at the moment, Roughie, isn't there?
Yeah, and Steven Gerrard's handling it very well, because there's no manager wants a chap in the door for a player going, there's any interest in this, is there anything? You don't have to, try and, say to the player, no, it's not true. You would rather get it out there, because players being players, if they think Milan or somebody's interested in them, they want to know if it is true, because that's the way of the world with the amount of wages they're getting in these teams. But no, I think he's handled it very well.
Yeah, I always think sometimes agents play a wonderful part in this, Ali, because as soon as you start stoking up interest of big clubs with big fees, it's sometimes to hold a gun to the club that are actually paying your wages.
Well, there's an element of that. There's also, if there's someone else maybe weighing up the possibility of making an offer, sometimes it forces their hand to come in with a formal offer if there's been some interest, if they think that someone else is there. Or I think it's very interesting that this has come out after the last month in which we've repeatedly been asking about Glenn Kamara and whether or not there's the offer of an improved contract. And I think Steven Gerrard's been saying, well, he's got a very good contract. He got a strong contract when he came here from Dundee, and then a few weeks later we've got the prospect of a move to Juventus. So I think, you could view it with some scepticism.
Yeah, okay then. You're turning into an old cynic, you know that, don't you? But I agree with you. As far as Rangers are concerned, 5-0 against Hearts. The manager just wants the players to keep buying in the goals.
Look, we want to win by the biggest margin we can, and probably in the players' eyes, I'm a bit of a moaner like that. I think some of them maybe want to come off the gas and relax at 3 and 4, but not for me. I just want to continue to keep doing the right things, and we're not at a level, or we're not a team yet where we can just pick and choose when we can stay on the gas.
Well, if the highs are Rangers, the lows almost certainly Hearts. It's just difficult to take for Hearts fans at the moment. Still no sign of the manager, although Anne Budge is clearly looking towards Daniel Stendhal, and if you can agree to pay all the backroom staff, then who knows, that might move ever closer, but they certainly need somebody quickly. But Austin McPhee was in charge, and certainly from his point of view, he's saying there's no judgment on getting beaten against Rangers.
No manager is going to get judged on the result of the game here. Hearts haven't won here in the Premier League since 2012, so the expectations are different. But the expectations on Wednesday night are absolutely that we must take 3 points.
Yeah, I think nobody really does get judged, especially if you're an interim manager on this. But the manner of the defeat is worrying because they just lost confidence completely.
Yeah, I seen he said that they hadn't won there since 2012, but you've got to go with the mentality to try and get something. But as I says, Peter, I look through that Hearts team. I think there's a lot of very good players in it. They just clearly now need to get a manager in quickly because they're certainly in a relegation battle for me. They're struggling at this moment in time, so they need a fix very quickly, and I'm sure the Hearts fans will be desperate for somebody to get in this week.
Yeah, and the players, well, one in particular, Stephen Naismith, is not dodging the responsibility.
At the end of the day's performance wasn't down to who was in charge. It was the team as a whole wasn't good enough and didn't defend well enough, and that was the problem today, nothing else.
Yep, so Hearts desperately need a manager and quickly to try and sort things out before, as Barry mentioned there, they really are in relegation trouble. Certainly would like to go over the festive period just battling away there through the winter months, trying to get away from the bottom of the table. Well, funnily enough, you guys have mentioned some players that are catching the eye. We talked about Kamara, talked about Morelos, talked about Christie. The good thing about this year is we seem to have more and more players, Roughie, who are actually performing at the top of their game. I mean, you could even throw Cosgrove almost certainly into that mix, surely.
Yeah, and I would throw Scott Allen into the mix as well. And there are certain Motherwell players. Every club, has got a player that is playing outstandingly, somebody you could talk about. And that's a good thing about the league.
Not everyone.
No, well, I'm sure if you ask the supporters at every club, they would pick a player that's been quite exciting, in their team.
At Hearts?
Well, Stephen Naismith's been out for a wee while.
He's only been back for 3 games, Roughie. Calm your jets. The reason I mentioned Cosgrove, because he just keeps scoring as well.
Yeah, and look, there's going to be a lot of interest in him. I watched him, I think it was St Johnstone game last week, and I was impressed with him. He's done a lot of work, obviously, Derek, with him on the training ground, and look, the big man knows where the back of the net is. That's for sure, and he's a big player for Aberdeen, and when he's in form, Aberdeen are dangerous. Yeah,
absolutely. And again, we're talking about sticky patches. Derek McInnes always seems to get a wee sticky patch for Aberdeen. If they could only avoid that through each of the seasons I've looked at over the last 4 or 5 seasons, Ali, you just wonder what they could achieve. Is that down to the strength of the squad or just the mentality?
I think it comes down to strength and depth and the resources that you've got. Over the course of the season, I think it's quite a big ask to sustain it and do it consistently. I think that's the difference between the top clubs and between Celtic and Rangers and those underneath it. They don't have the same depth of squad. I think if you look at Celtic just now and they lose a number of key players, the layer underneath suggests that they can come in and sustain a similar level. I'm not sure that other clubs have the same luxury. I think it purely comes down to finances.
Yeah, OK. Aberdeen, they managed to get the win, although it was close. St Mirren, it just seemed to be one of those clubs, Barry, they're putting up good performances, but they're not getting anything at the end of it.
Yeah, defensively they look really strong. It's just at the end, scoring goals, that's what gets you points and wins you games, and they're struggling to do that. But when I've seen them, I have been impressed with them, I've got to be honest with you. It's just that final third, they need to get somebody who can get the ball in the back of the net.
OK, more games to talk about, not only over the weekend there, but we'll look ahead to the midweek fixtures too. All after the start of, I must just say, we'll be announcing the winner of the Barry Ferguson competition on Wednesday. Somebody's going to be lucky enough to win your signed top, Barry. Certainly looking forward to that. What about the new competition? This one, I think even Barry would accept, is very special.
If you'd like to win this unique Lionel Messi signed Barcelona top, subscribe to our YouTube channel PLZ Soccer and we'll announce the winner on Friday 20th of December. Good luck!
I just copied Barry from last week. Roughie just did the same type of thing, you know, and there you are. It's what a Christmas present that would be, Roughie.
Yeah, as we know, we go out to lots and lots of dinners, and when there's any auctions come up, that's the jersey that everybody wants. You know, it's they push the boat out for them. It's a fantastic player and a fantastic jersey to get.
Yeah, all you have to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel. You could be in with a great chance of winning it. And across all our social media channels on Twitter, on Facebook as well, you can enter by following us, and you could be one of the lucky people chosen to win the Lionel Messi top. I know Ali will certainly be putting her entry in for her kids who'll be pestering her about that top. But it's a unique one, and it has a certificate of authenticity as well. So it's a great competition to get involved in. A couple of games of note to talk about. Motherwell fairly battered St Johnstone.
Yeah, again, St Johnstone back four. Every time I hear, you know, people talking about the games, it's the inexperience of that back four. Very, very young players, and they're making mistakes left, right and centre. But let's not take anything away from Motherwell. I thought they were very good back to front, and obviously they're scoring goals, and there's a lot of confidence in that Motherwell team just now.
Yeah, you're not happy with your old side Hibs for their inability to hold on to a 2-0 advantage.
Yeah, 30 minutes, absolutely wonderful stuff by all accounts, and then obviously they lose a goal and then the jitters stick in and they just can't see out a game. And I think at this precise moment in time, if they look back at all the goals that they've lost and points that they've dropped, it'd be a large amount at this stage of the season.
Yeah, and Ali, we've set aside a 2-hour special for you tonight to talk about the game that you managed to get to at the weekend. It was just a cracker. Livingston against Hamilton Accies.
It was desperate. It was absolutely desperate. It was cold. It was nothing each. I think there was one chance of note. John Guthrie clipped a post with a header in the first half, and other than that, there was just nothing to talk about. It was appalling. Yeah. You actually fear for both of those teams too. They're on a winless streak. Livingston haven't won since they beat Celtic away at the start of October. Hamilton haven't won since the back end of September against Livingston at their own ground, and they seem to be eking out a point here or a point there, but I think they'll both end up being dragged down a wee bit.
Yeah, here's the table at the moment. Let's have a look to see where everybody is. It's mightily tight at the top. Only a goal separates them now. Celtic and Rangers, Aberdeen, a full 9 points behind that. But at the bottom end, just throw a blanket over them, Barry.
Yep, from 7th down to 12th place, it's as you just said, you could throw a blanket over them. Hibs are obviously with Jack Ross coming in, they've got a bit of momentum, 2 wins and then that obviously draw at the weekend, so it's very, very close down at the bottom. Yeah,
let's have a look at the predictor to see how close it is between the three of us, because obviously it was a tough one at the weekend. Ooh, there you go. Roughie, are you happy with where you're positioned?
Yeah, I'm just getting close to you now. I'm getting a wee bit of momentum. I don't know how, but I am. Yeah. We had similar results at the weekend. You obviously weren't here, but no, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I think the thing is, Roughie, it'll probably get to about maybe January, and that's when we just stop talking to Barry. It just becomes an afterthought. It's just all about the head-to-head between you and I.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see when the big games come up, if he sticks to his own team, see if he predicts them.
Yeah. Ballon d'Or, I always like to look at this and think, okay, who's getting it, Messi or Ronaldo? Here's the odds on it all. Ronaldo 33-1, Messi 12-1 on Roughie, Van Dijk 6-1.
Yeah, for the same reason that you say, or somebody said the goalkeeper should never win it. I don't think a centre-half should win it either.
What?
No, strikers for me all day long. They're the ones that get me out of my seat.
Who gets your vote, Ali?
Messi.
Yeah.
Yep, did you watch him last week against Dortmund?
Phenomenal.
Oh, I was sitting there and my son watched him. It's laughable, some of the things he does with a ball.
Yeah.
The guy's absolute frightening.
Yep, he is indeed. Just a little footnote, Roughie, and Ali, I know you'll start smiling on this one, but as soon as Brendan Rodgers in an after-match interview suggested there was a clause in his contract, well, blow me down. Who would have thought, eh? How lucky were they to actually realise there was a clause?
I don't know what to say on this. So 9 months, 10 months, and the job is 20 is too soon. But I think he will look at it and think, if this job comes, I have no guarantee of when it would come again. He would bite the hand off for it.
Yeah.
I would have no doubt whatsoever. If he's genuinely in the reckoning for it, I'd have no doubt whatsoever that he would take it.
Does the clause say if it's a London club?
I think it's a buyout clause. I think it's a £14 million buyout clause in his contract.
Yeah, of course. Even Ali's got the figure already.
You look at both teams. Leicester are a better team. I know it's a bigger club. I know that, but
yeah.
The prestige
Leicester
of the
have
club,
got money.
isn't it?
I know they've got money and
Leicester
they've got
have got
better
money
players
as
than
well.
Arsenal. I think they're a
Absolutely.
better team than Arsenal.
Yeah, but as you know, with these things, it's not all about money. Sometimes it's about the heart, and if you're an Arsenal fan at heart, sometimes that just drags you. You've dragged me out, and then you drag me back in. That's all I'm saying to you, Ali. These things happen.
I actually think it does make sense from Arsenal's point of view. I can see his credentials would be appealing for them. I think he is a genuine candidate. You could understand what the reaction might be in Leicester.
From the Leicester fans, yeah. Okay, well, I'm sure there'll be a few banners here and there and a few hisses from the crowd if that were to happen, but surely not. Okay, now thanks to everyone for joining us on the show, and to you can join us and give us your thoughts across all our social media outlets. Good luck with the messy competition, but on Twitter, on Facebook Live, you can join us. We've got the podcast coming up. Ian Durrant is our guest for this week's podcast. Really looking forward to chatting about some of the great stories in his career and bantering about football. And over and above that, the YouTube channel, you can subscribe to it. The ever-growing football family. Thank you to so many people joining us and watching the programme daily, Monday to Friday. So, with that in mind, thanks to Roughie, thanks to Ali, thanks to Barry Ferguson, and from myself, Peter Martin, thanks for watching.
Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.